doggy.
Hello and welcome back to Art Therapy with Jen. Today I am back in my Witchy journal. Oh my goodness, it has been quite a little while. I've missed this journal of mine. I've been working on it, going on 2 years now. It's just been such a fun labor of love. And if this is your first time tuning in to one of my Witchy journal videos, I do this type of journal quite a bit different than I do my single collage pages, where I tell a story from start to finish and finish the page in its completion. In this series and with this journal, what I've done is I went through and I did backgrounds for all the pages, and now I'm in the process of putting like the people, animals, the focal images, the cast of characters onto pages. And it's almost like an onion, but in reverse. We're going back through and adding layers as we go along. So you'll see me do a lot of flipping through the book, adding different images, and then just keeping it moving. That's this process. I have a similar journal that I did this with. It wasn't an overall same theme like this one. Way back on the channel, I think I made it out of a pie box. I'll try to remember and put a link in the description as well as in an iCard that I use this same style on, and I wanted to repeat it again, but in a fun, modern witchy theme. And I spent a long time saving up images, and when I finally had enough, I was able to work on that. And a lot of you all have followed me on this journey since the beginning. And if you'd like to see where this journal started, I do have a Witchy journal playlist, and you can see where I started cutting the manila folders and papers that I use for the pages, all the way to making the cover and just having fun with it. It's so neat to see and work on when I think about how far it's come. And believe it or not, y'all, we're actually getting closer to the end of this journal. I almost have all the focal images in there, and then we'll be able to start adding words and embellishments. And it's kind of bittersweet in a way. But as y'all can see on this first page I'm working on there, it was just fun. I found these different images, and they have these ladies in the water there, siren-esque, I guess. The hand in the water, and then this cool ad that had this nature silhouette over this lady, and I just loved it. And it just goes with the vibe that I'm going for this journal. I was trying to think also what I was going to talk about as this, as my process goes on the screen here. And I was looking up different stories. I was thinking about reading witchy stories, definitions, stuff like that. And honestly, there wasn't much that was really good out there. At least a 5-minute Google search would do. The Merriam-Webster's dictionary is quite funny and kind of reminiscent of, the green-faced Wicked Witch of the West. I just find it so funny like that. So I thought I would just talk through these pages and kind of talk about the vibe I'm going for a little bit more, because I know quite a few of y'all got it, and some people they weren't really seeing it. So for me, this witchy journal, I guess it's more of a modern interpretation. Growing up, as a teenager and everything, I had wonderful shows that were influences on me, like we had Charmed, I even had Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That was super fun. The Craft. Oh gosh, I know I'm forgetting a lot of them. Well, Witchblade. There was all kinds of fun fantasy type, urban paranormal, all of that in shows and books and everything. And it was just such a fun, creative influence on me growing up. I had a lot of friends that were very much into New Age growing up, and it's just something fun and a theme that I like to play with. I like the aesthetic of, and I like to make like stories out of that. And here I'm having this visual little snippets of stories, if you will. So, having to look at magic, and in a way it kind of comes back to magic that you would read in a book or see in a show, but it also is showing magic in day-to-day life, like with this couple here. And on one end you could say they're this destined to be mystical couple, and on another one you could kind of see it as just the magic of love in everyday life. Does that make sense? Sometimes I wonder about myself, but just having fun with it. And these traditions, like you see here with this hand on the right with all these rings and this tarot card, and then this fancy dining room parlor. And I imagine this lady has all these exotic birds in cages, and when you come over to get your fortune told, you can hear the birds chirping in the background. Just an extravagant type of situation there. And just little stories like this one on the left, it looks more in the country, somewhere like deep south, old Mississippi, old Louisiana, and then on the right is much more urban, and just showing that back and forth. That was another fun thing in this journal. Those of y'all that did not watch it before, I did these pages all loose, and I worked on them over months, and then I bound them into the journal. So it was neat seeing what images ended up next to other images, because it wasn't planned that way. So that was another fun element to add to it. I just love the image of this lady here. Like, she is rocking it. I can see her just chilling in her parlor, or lanai in the deep south, and just bringing that, because to me this is a kind of old world meets new world with very feminine vibes, which a lot of y'all picked up on. A lot of that has to do with the source magazines I have. I use a lot of fashion magazines that do predominantly feature female models. And a lot of it is just, that's my aesthetic. I was noticing the other day, like, I wear Spotify out, y'all. I'm always listening to music when I'm not at work, or, like now recording a voiceover and everything. And I noticed almost all my music was female singers. So I don't know. That's just, I guess I relate to it better. I don't know. But I also did this fun thing. You see the background behind this lady in the red coat. I played around with different inks and watercolors and things like that to kind of give off a magic aura vibe, is how it kind of ended up being. At the time, I was just playing along with it, just making the pages, because I wasn't quite sure what this journal was going to turn out to be. I even had a different cover there for a little while, and I ended up just going crazy with the pages, and the pages ended up being way too thick to fit in that cover I originally had, and which worked out great because I like this cover better. And just playing around, y'all, just having fun. And I think it's neat too how in different context, like to me in this context, that couple right there totally reads like supernatural power couple, right? But they could just as easily in a different context just be a hip New York couple hanging out, or I don't know. I'm talking like I know about city stuff. I don't. But that's one of the biggest enjoyments for me out of doing collage, is just being able to run with it, and it's really limitless in what you can interpret from images and everything. The only limit is your creativity. You know, you can put an image of a cat on a page and it could just be a cute cat. Or in this case, the cat could be a familiar. Or, I mean, it's just whatever you'd like to do with it. Or it could just be the cat was the right color to go on that page to fit in. You know what I mean? So it's just fun. You put your own magic into each page, right? And I tell y'all what, it had been a while. I'm still trying to get warmed back up into journaling. Told y'all it'd been quite a while. I did post another video this past weekend, why it meant something is what it was called, and I really appreciate the response to that. I was like, is anybody going to still be here? And once I got warmed up on this, I had a lot of fun. I really like this image right here, this guy from this advertisement. He kind of gives me like Japanese Oni vibes, like you know, they would have those masks like in the Shintoist rituals, or in the old school like I don't know the names of it, but the Japanese stage shows when they would have those masks to portray the ghost and everything with the horns. That's what that gives me. Like, I just thought that makeup was so cool. And I just have this pile of pages right beside me, and I just literally go through and hold it up and see if I'm like, yeah, that'll work. I'm trying to get much better about not overthinking things, because that's one reason why journals take me so long, because I feel like the planets have to be aligned. Everything has to be in place for me to be able to sit down and work on it, because it's almost like it's too precious in a way. Does that make sense? And by holding on to it and thinking that it's so precious, you really end up being detrimental to it, because you don't put the work and love into it that you should. There I am. I found a picture of a candle. Oh, yeah. I love some of these furniture images that I've found over the years. So fun. I used to get a lot of free interior design magazines that I would play around with, and I was so obsessed there for about a year just on interiors. Like, I could make a whole journal nothing but furniture. And it's not necessarily even furniture I want in my house or anything. I appreciate the shape so much, you know? But anyway, now I'm actually going back through on my second flip of the journal. I've gone through the first time, but I felt like I wasn't done. So I'm going back through this second time and adding more images, as I'm not that picky. And it's really dark outside, so that's why you'll see the lighting go back and forth sometimes and be really shiny on the page and sometimes not, because I'm kind of huddled up in my little corner, you know, doing my collage magic over here in the dark with one light on the page. So it sometimes will do a glare or what have you, but I do my best. And it still makes me mad sometimes, though. I had, when I first started this journal, sometimes you'll see these pockets and air pockets and stuff in those collage images. They don't really show up in person, but when the light hits them, you'll see kind of crinkles in the page. And I had used this really cheap glue from the Dollar Tree, and it just didn't stick. And it just is what it is. You know, we're going to call it... what is it? I don't know. We'll think of some magical explanation for it, right? Makes it more authentic. I also like to, going through here, just using women from all walks of life and some guys as well. The lady on the right, her dress gave me kind of like an old world vibe, but brought into new. And then we have these images of this really old like mausoleum. And to the left, this guy is in a very like luxurious living room. And because I would think if you were a magical being that had lived a long time, I mean, you're probably sitting on some good compound interest. You know what I mean? So you're probably not going to be living on the cheap. Oh, Sorry, y'all. I do apologize for my phone. But we're not stopping because I'm recording this voiceover right before I have to leave for class because we're getting it done. But anyway, crazy phone. But alrighty, this one here I had fun with as well. This is actually another image from the couple I used a few minutes ago. And this is a larger image of them. And I don't know, I just really love their vibes for this. It was just like this dark, but really chill, confident vibe. And I wanted to put them on the left there. And then on the right, you see I have that painting with the hand, with the man and the woman drawn on there. Or they almost look young there. So maybe this is brother and sister here. Maybe they're not a couple. I don't know, but it was just neat to put them side by side there and how that came out. I'm actually at the point now, I need to go through, I'm about out of images. It's so crazy how I think I have way more images than I need, and I saved images for this journal for over a year, y'all. Just saving everything I could find that hit that vibe for me, and I had a stack. And I've almost used them all. It's insane. But luckily, like I said, I'm almost to the point where I have all the focal images in there, or to the point where I'm just going to say, this is enough. We have enough. Let's start adding words. Let's start adding embellishments and things. So hopefully y'all will see that in the next video or two from this journal. I don't know what I'm going to add yet. I know I have a lot of words that I've saved, but as far as like embellishments and flourishes and what have you, I have no idea. I didn't add very many to the last journal that I did in this manner. So we'll see. And this is the first ever like themed journal that I've done. It's almost like it's a collage page, but over, I don't know how many pages are in here, at least 50, I would say. So it's just been fun. It's been fun. And a lot of these images, believe it or not, instead of fashion magazines, I've found them in wedding magazines. I tell y'all what, if you can get a hold of free like wedding magazines and interior design magazines, there is a gold mine for collage. Like these, that was for bridesmaids dresses right there, and they just read like epic coven vibes to me. And I also liked adding this images where we have the 3 skulls, which these are animal skulls, to go with the 3 ladies there. Wonder what story that is. Something probably a little more sinister than those gorgeous dresses they have, right? I also like this guy on the right here. I have gone through and added paint to pages. I do that in a few of the videos before in this playlist. But I think he was a furniture designer or something in the magazine. I'm trying to think back. But he's dressed almost like this, like high-end upper-class person to me from like the 1800s. I don't know. But then he kind of looks like a Viking as well. I don't know. I'm not good with fashion historical references, so don't come after me if I've missed that. I am not. It's like The Knight's Tale. I was cool with that. Y'all remember that movie with Heath Ledger and all that? I used to love that movie. But it was definitely modern meets like Renaissance or medieval stuff there. But just have fun. And have these cool interiors here now. These kind of read like, this page really, like I hear the theme song from True Blood in my head. As I look at this page, you know, those darks and the deep reds, and oh my gosh, y'all ever watch that show? That show was a trip. I liked the show much better than I liked the books, but the books were fun too. I remember when that was huge. I had started reading the books before the show came out, so it was neat. That and Blood Ties. And y'all got any good recommendations for like sci-fi or fantasy shows now, let me know. I can't think of any off the top of my head, to be honest, that aren't like superhero ones. I just, I'm not into the superhero thing. You know, kudos to everyone that is. That's just not my thing. So, let me know. I like this one too, because this is like a girl. She's like a jewelry maker almost, and she sells the jewelry on the side. I think that's the ultimate like modern interpretation. And on this one, I thought it would be cool to kind of have a, well, if I pick it up here, there it is. I thought it would be neat. You always hear the thing of having a black cat as a familiar, and I found this just gorgeous black dog, and I thought, hey, why can't we have a black dog as a familiar? I remember he was a hunting dog off of Garden and Gun magazine. I picked him up. He's just handsome. Can you imagine? Just handsome. And then, you know, have the flowers there, but they almost look like modern day potions in a way, right? And I really loved this image too. This is like, this gave me real like the Craft Charmed era realness, as they say nowadays. There. I haven't watched the new Charm very much yet. I started, but I guess where the original one came out when I was growing up. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I don't know. Y'all let me know if you've seen it. Is it really good? Is it really good? I mean, I don't know. Unless Leo's in there, I just don't see it. Oh, we had Buffy too, come to think of it. I forgot about Buffy. Buffy and Angel and all that fun stuff. I had forgotten about those shows. Shame on me. I've actually, while I was doing these pages, I was rewatching. Now, don't judge me, y'all. Don't judge me, but I really like the show. The Teen Wolf, which was the reboot that MTV did about, gosh, it's been over 10 years. Can y'all believe that? I have probably watched that start to finish 3 times. I don't know. I like it. I'm currently rewatching it again. And the nice thing is when you're rewatching a show, you can just watch what parts you like and skip through the rest. But I'm going back through and watching that, the one that has like Tyler Posey and Colton Haynes and all them. I remember when that first came on MTV right after I graduated college. So I'm going back through and watching that as well. And Derek Hill, which I think is Superman now, the guy who played Derek Hill. I don't know. Like I said, I don't keep up with the superhero stuff, not my thing. But just fun things like that. Do we have any more shows like that now? Y'all let me know. I'm so out of the loop with stuff. And let me know what y'all think about me chatting over the Witchy videos. And said this series, I typically play a lot of music. I went through YouTube's audio library and I sourced a lot of like more dark themed spooky music. I'm thinking about sticking with the chatting on the longer videos like this on the channel, and then maybe doing a shorter one where I just show the pages where I can put the music on. We might experiment with that for sure, or putting the music on Instagram. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out my schedule and what I'm capable of doing. That's one of my New Year's resolutions this year, is being honest with myself and what I'm capable of producing and doing within my time constraints. So we'll see how that goes. But this page on the right here that has the maroon and everything, that was the page that sparked off this whole journal. Believe it or not, I did this and I was like, I want to do a witchy/magic theme journal. I have all these images of these just kick butt women, and I just want to do this journal. And here we are. So I believe this is number 9 in the series. So I'm thinking, oh, it needs to have 13 episodes. That would be perfect. Or 12 episodes, and then number 13 is the flip through. We'll see. I'm hoping to have more time to journal. Now today, as I am doing this voiceover, it's actually President's Day, so I won't have any more federal holidays off to have long weekends till May, so we'll see. And I don't have any vacation days until May, so, but we're going to keep trucking along. That's one thing, being the new kid, how it goes. But that is all I'm going to work in the journal today. Y'all can see how thick it's getting. Oh my goodness. Thank y'all for watching this with me, joining in on the magic, and I will see y'all next time. Bye, guys.